we will be discussing some things that, Emily, would you care to start? Or do I need to, since we've got people here that we don't know that might need to say something, or at the end?
Like you said, Mayor, if you just want to go around and public comments, and as long as everybody understands the rules, I've got your thing regarding public comments, that will be something you can start with, and then the alderman, that anything they want to bring up at the workshop, you know.
Okay, before we start, I see we have visitors. Does anybody have anything to say? Or do you want to say it at the end? Would you rather say it at the end? No? Okay, we'll wait and see what happens. We can discuss this, and if anybody wants to ask anything, you can ask.
Well, I'll start if you want. We had a very good meeting with the Brenda Joyner and Jason Morrell from the Hawkins County EMS regarding the EMS lease. And Mitch, Emily and I met with them, and I think we worked out the details. We're putting the revised draft back to them to make sure they'll accept it. They'll accept it, then we'll bring it back into the board for approval. But it looks like we're finally making some progress, and that will have to be.
What you get? So the EMS, so you had a meeting with the EMS.
Yes.
And they, about the leasing.
Right. We had some discussion regarding one or two bays. We had the discussion regarding the provision of service. We had originally put in, and I had originally put in, that would require advanced life support. In other words, a wagon, a bus, an ambulance that has a paramedic on it. And Mitch and Jason were kind enough to inform me that the state's changing the parameters of what advanced EMTs are allowed to do. So what used to be something only paramedics could do, even advanced EMTs are able to do now, and they can do most of the things that a paramedic used to be able to do only. So because you used to have something that was called, a day bus or something, it was basic life support, very minimally trained people, and they did mostly transportation. And then you had your advanced life support, which was the ones that were going out for, a suspected heart attack or something like that. But we, based on, you agree that it's no longer necessary to say you're going to have advanced life support, as long as they have an EMT advanced, what's it called?
Advanced EMT.
Advanced EMT on board. That should suffice for them. So I'm happy to say we were kind of working on it for a couple months, going back and forth. By having a meeting face to face, I think we've gotten pretty much ironed out. So that's all I have from the one thing we had. Now, there was another thing regarding the special events and having the organization sign and apply for the special event. And that's something we're still working with, getting information with PEP, which is the insurance carrier. And then I was also educated by Emily that when we have a special event now, like something big, or the block party or parades, that type of thing, we actually go out onto the market, not through PEP, but through a specialty insurance company, and we buy insurance for that, just that event. And so what we're hoping to do is be able to give more information about what type of events and what's the cutoff. What number of people are we going to say are going to be involved before we need to get that special insurance? And again, I would think that reason for trying to determine is that because once you know what it's going to cost your insurance, you really need to know, that tells you what you need to charge the organization in order to have a break even. Otherwise, you're going to be going in the hole providing insurance coverage or something. I think the other thing, one point was there was a question regarding when they were using the park and stuff, and there was apparently a fee for parking or something. And we've kind of discussed that as long as it's a public park and it's not been turned over to an organization for exclusive use, that would not be applicable and we would not be charging, they would not be allowed to charge a fee for parking or anything. Because again, they don't have, the organization we're permitted to have activity there does not have the exclusive use of it. You still have people perhaps from the town that want to go use the walking trail or whatever.
Did
So
you
that had
charge
come
for
up.
that, or did you just say for a donation?
There's never, I don't know in this meeting if anybody's allowed to speak or not. I don't know how this works.
So Mindy said to ask you.
There wasn't a fee charged for parking, no.
Well,
Nor was anything asked for donations. There was a fee charged to come in and watch the games.
well,
And
again,
it's for a non-profit tax exempt organization. It's not to make money or something.
well,
And
again,
then people that are coming in to walk at the park or play frisbee golf, those people are not charged.
I only heard it third hand, so it's hearsay. But I understood that an employee of the city that was there to fix the toilet was told he couldn't park.
That's not true. That is not true.
Well,
I can promise you
we're
that.
just clarifying that there would
You were
not be
with him
parking.
during that time,
I
right?
wasn't there for that conversation, so
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay, all right.
That wasn't even a conversation. I can promise you that.
Okay. Well, but I guess that's to clarify that I would think it would be inappropriate to allow an organization to use the facility and then have them charge people or residents of Mount Carmel to park there and do something else or whatever. And then we also have the issue that we'll be having an organization that signs a whole harmless organization. That organization is then responsible for making sure the individual members, in this case perhaps it was a ball team or something, the parents would have to sign something for the people, their children there, that they hold the town harmless and they should be injured in some way. So
Do you want to talk about that, since we talked about it last week in the meeting about the insurance?
I mean, we can talk about it, but I'm not sure. It seems like it's kind of pointed at just, you all just pick and choose on who you apply that to. It seems like, I mean, like, for example, like I have insurance for my team, and they all have signed papers and all that stuff. So they're covered anywhere I go, anywhere my team plays, anywhere we practice, anywhere we're at. They're covered by insurance.
well, again, if they sign releases for you, that doesn't necessarily release the town. So
Okay, and so,
And it's not
like,
just-
for example, if a child gets hurt up there playing on the playground, so how's that covered?
If it's an individual person up there on the playground, then that's not something we're talking about doing. We're talking about you're asking to be permitted to use public facilities, and we're saying then you take the risk that if something happened, you would indemnify the town if they get sued.
Right, and I'm willing to sign something like that, absolutely.
Well, and that it's not. I can tell you, it's not directed just to the ballpark teams. It's just something that's something that has come up in the past.
Right.
It's the most common.
In our events, we have them sign waivers too, so it's not just,
Say again, I'm sorry.
like when we do our Nerf War event and stuff, they have to sign the same waiver that they did when we did the ball tournaments. So it's not just, like, everything gets a waiver signed.
So anything that goes on in that park, the parents have to sign
Yeah,
if
when
it's
they
an
sign up
activity,
online,
right?
when they sign up online, there's that statement in there that by signing this, you do not hold the town of Mount Carmel liable in the event of
Okay.
injury or death.
It's the PDP form.
Yeah,
And
it's the
code.
state's.
So let me get this straight. So everybody that came to the Nerf War or everybody that came up there to get soaked with water or whatever, nobody was allowed up there unless they signed an agreement online.
Yeah, and we had
That's
extra
That's
forms
what
there
we
that
do,
they
yeah.
signed as well. We did a Google form for them to sign.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, would that be if they participated
Yes.
or if
If
they
they
watched?
No,
If they
participated.
participated.
Participated, okay.
And they even
That makes more
got
sense.
little bands, so we
Right.
We got
could.
wristbands to say that they
Okay.
signed one to cover our liability.
And that's fine if they participated, but watching
Yeah.
it's totally different, just separate the two.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then one more question. I got a call yesterday about the home grants development. Is you still taking applications for those or what?
There's a public meeting on February the 14th at 1:30.
February 14th at 1:30 here,
Yes,
in here?
yes.
And those who want to apply or whatever, they have to come to that meeting?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
What was the name of it?
Home grant.
District, it's development district for home grants, right?
Yeah.
And if you all don't know what that is, there's grants that are for Mount Carmel people only, right? And it's, they can have their houses fixed or a roof put on or whatever, that they have to apply for this grant, but it is applied to those who have lower income, right? So, and that's a good grant that we really did get, because we do have some people here in Mount Carmel that elderly. They have to be, how old? Can you remember? I can't remember. It was elders though, wasn't it? So, that's good. That answers the question that I've got to call back. Anybody else want to add anything? Okay.
Anybody have anything they want to make, and suggest be on the agenda for the meeting coming up?
We had park, and I thought that was what we was going to talk about today, was the park committee. So we tabled it.
At the meeting.
Yeah, tabled it for the workshop there.
We had a meeting last week. You want to ask anything, Jeff, because you're the chairman?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna let y'all discuss, and then I'll say whatever's necessary.
We want to keep it the way it is, right? The bylaws and everything, right? Is what we talked about the other day. So, anybody have anything to add to that, or just drop it?
I took a distributed package to everybody that has all of the committees and the bylaws for each committee. So y'all.
Oh, is this what this was? Well, thank you.
Y'all can look over those.
Mhm.
I will address that again next month.
Okay,
Give everybody time to look at the packet.
okay. Okay, so drop that then.
So that'll be put on the agenda for the next meeting that you're asking for.
Not this coming up meeting, but next month's meeting.
Okay.
Yep. I'll discuss it again at March's workshop.
Okay.
So can you be here on March workshop? Thank you. Cash, you can answer more about
Be
it.
here whenever necessary. March, when is that meeting? March what?
It's the second Tuesday.
Second
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
We'll discuss it at the March workshop.
March 14th.
Yeah. Give you all time to
Like a really good time.
So I got a question. Why are we waiting till March 14th? So
Give
everybody
everybody
can
time
look
to
at the bylaws?
review.
He's putting these packets out. Do you have one for him since he's the chairman?
He should have the Parks Committee.
Yeah, so
He
it's
does,
just-
he
it's
has
just
the
the
parts.
bylaws?
This is the name of the meeting.
So, but I thought y'all were discussing on
Okay.
whether or not to have the park committee. What's having the bylaws got to do with whether or not you're going to have the park committee?
Everybody was is going to be on the same page as far as where it comes down to the bylaws of each committee. Because they was confused of what was going on for which committees.
Okay.
So give everybody time to review that packet,
Okay.
and then we'll bring it back up for discussion.
All right.
Anything else anybody want to bring up?
I got one more. I don't have the bylaws for the other committees.
I can email those to you if you would like for me to.
Give them to me if you want to, I'll give them to you. Whichever you want to do.
I have his email address, I'll email it to you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay,
I've got another question.
okay.
Is there a calendar that I can go look at anytime that says this committee is meeting here, this BMA meeting is here, and this is meeting, everything's on there? We're going to have a parade, we're going to have a block party, we're going to have, therefore, there's not a calendar for the city that has all that where anybody can just go.
We do put things on Facebook, but we don't have a calendar set up. I'm thinking that's something we could probably do on the
That would be a
website.
good, that would be a good idea.
There's certain ones in the meetings that once a year they publish the dates of meetings that are going to be held, like the workshops and the BMA are all published, so we have public notice of it. There's oftentimes some of the committees don't meet regularly. They had called meetings when there's an occasion to do it, so there's really no way to do that. But there are certain ones, like the Planning Commission and the BMA meetings, BMA workshops, they're all on the website or,
They're out here on the board too, right?
when they come up.
Do you think that may be a good thing to do, is when all the meetings that are held should be put out there too? Well, thank you. Because that'd be, because people coming up down the street, we might get more people in as far as coming in to meetings, because the meetings are public. You can come to any of the meetings.
Is that the board at the road you're talking about,
Yes.
both sides?
Well, forgive me for my ignorance, but is that something most cities have, like a calendar with all that stuff on it, that where anybody, whether you're a citizen or not, could go on? If you lived in California and you wanted to see when the meeting was at, couldn't go
It's one
on there?
that's published, you go on Mount Carmel website.
Okay,
Give it
so,
a website.
It's the internet, so I mean, the California Bank of the District.
yeah, but I
Website
didn't think,
now,
I thought she
it's
said all the
recorded.
meetings wasn't on there, on the website.
All the
Just the BMA, the
all-
planning,
Yes, but there's other, like the parks. I mean, I don't know when the last time you had a meeting, but, you know, if
Last
you don't
week.
know about it, if she doesn't know about it, she can't possibly even get it on the board.
well, she has a schedule for her meetings for the whole entire year at this point, but I don't know that anybody else knows it except the people that were in that meeting, right?
Right, and they haven't been published yet.
But like I said, there is the website, and she does try to also do it on Facebook too.
Say the website is, because he's recording it and people will see it.
It's mountcarmeltn.gov.
Is that spelled out MOUNT? Yes.
And John, isn't that where you've done a lot of your,
Yeah, well, who's the group that manages the website? It's through
Local government.
government. That's why the website takes so much longer to get changes made to it. We don't manage it ourselves, local government does, so we do more stuff on Facebook. But I mean, we could have set up a share calendar where people could subscribe to it and it pushes events out to it. I mean, we're capable of doing, I'm capable of setting one up to do that. It's just a matter of if that's something we wanted to do.
We might have to discuss that.
and take a great deal of coordination to get all the
All the
different
events and dates and stuff.
informed you ahead of
Yeah,
time. So
right.
it's-
And that's on Mount Carmel's Facebook page or what?
It would be just wherever we set it up to host it through. It wouldn't be hosted through Facebook, it would be a subscription calendar that people subscribe to.
So is the whole Mount Carmel website run by,
Local government. We don't make changes to it. We have to get changes, we have to put change requests into it to get it changed by this organization. We don't do it ourselves.
wow,
That's why we do stuff on Facebook, because we're able to make changes more real time there versus having to go through that route.
And what's the Facebook page?
It's at Mount Carmel TN.
TN,
TN.
and that's all, just Mount Carmel TN?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
and see who takes care of that? Is that you?
There's myself, Mindy, and Emily, a few of us take care of it. I know I came in a few minutes late. I saw the memo that was sent out. Do we have any type of update on how the search for police chief's going?
Yes, we've got 4 interviewees scheduled for February the 26th. And we'll have a panel interview that week, or that Monday, and then hopefully have a decision made and an offer extended before that Friday.
What time is that?
They're throughout the day, the interviews are.
And currently, are we having any like gaps of coverage for calls or going unanswered for no
No.
service?
I have discussed with Hawkins County Sheriff's Office that they are covering for us. They, in the event that we don't have an officer working that day or night, they are covering our calls.
And if you do have Stacy Vaughn in here now to help out,
Yes.
He's already here?
Yes, he is, and we've almost completed switching everything over into his name. He's our interim chief. He did make it known he was not interested in being the chief, but he's working on a part-time basis so that we don't have to close everything down. We can still, there's still a chain of command, and he's going to approve our reports and do administrative things of that nature.
Yeah, how many part-time people in the sheriff's office are looking for?
Yeah. We have part-time people still working shifts from the sheriff's office?
Yes.
Covering shifts actually, that
Yes.
we normally have part-time officers, period.
Yes, we do, and they're all still, they have all, agreed to work when they're available. So Stacy will be scheduling them.
I mean, he's a good guy. A lot of people knows him, and it kind of comes to the community. They don't have somebody they know back in the community again.
He's been around for a long time.
He has. And I just want to say, I think you did a really good job with the email you sent us, explaining everything. I'm glad you able to finally come out and explain everything, what happened.
That was gonna be my question. Why do we not have, I don't know. Why do we not have police officers?
That's a good question. What's the question?
Why are we in like dire straits over not having police officers? Out of just curiosity.
Because she can answer that, but the bottom line is there have been new procedures and personnel policies that adopted by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, and they've been implemented, and some people have chose to seek other employment. It's that simple.
Okay. I just wanted. That's probably in paper. I probably should read the paper, shouldn't
It doesn't tell you that much.
I? Oh, it doesn't tell you? Okay.
Alan, when is the EMS next meeting? Maybe if,
Well,
yeah,
I think not this month, because I've got to ship it down to them for them to bring it back to me. But by the March meeting, yes, we should have that approved, and hopefully implements, authorize the mayor to sign it and have it done. I mean, we are in a transition because even they've been required to vacate their premises down there within 90 days, which is a big move for them, a lot of time-consuming things. And then we're still in a bit of transition because the Hawkins County mayor is, still evaluating and looking to try to establish a quasi-governmental EMS service that would have some advantages for the employees mostly.
And that's coming up around April time, April, May.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything definite. I just know it's on the back burner. You may know more than
Last I've heard of an update on it was going to be pushed back until budget time, which I assume would be April, May this year. So
would be like
that's something that I would
budget.
expect for it to be coming back around as subject to conversation for the EMS that the mayor DeWitt was here talking about that time. I expect that to come back around.
And like you said, this agreement is only for a year max, plus either party has the right to withdraw with like 90 days from the side. 90 days, was it? Either party has the right to withdraw with 90 days. So it allows us to get out and major if we need to, if there's something new that's coming down, that type of thing. It was a very good negotiation. It's very
Covering our basic liabilities for the building, setting expectations of government liabilities.
that and just a lot of little details. We're going to have a posted maintenance type of things, that needs cleaned on a regular basis. I think decided to have quarterly inspection, was it? And if there's anything that needs to be done, then there would be an outside firm that come in to do it, and that cost would be split. So there were some things like some details that. But again, it was very open and very mutually beneficial. Perhaps I put too much legalese in the first one. Overcomplicated, right? Like you said, what we're looking for is to be indemnified against anything that arises from them providing their medical services.
But the mayor doesn't have to be here, right? The county mayor?
No, I'm just saying he'll probably be back to bring that subject, like be back around to talk about that again. I'd assume he'll come back around. I don't.
Up here?
Yeah, like we did last year.
Yeah, like when we get about the one. Yeah. Yes. I won't stop there. Yes, like he did last year. Just I'll let him talk. I'll talk with him.
Before April, May, right?
At some point.
Okay. I just wanted to make that clear.
Kick me.
Go ahead. Finish.
I don't have anything for the agenda. If anybody else does.
Do we have an update? I have had a couple people that asked about this on this, but it's not necessarily an agenda item, but kind of an update on the situation about the noise at the sewer department, kind of the sound. Do we have a kind of status on that?
Yes, so we met over there yesterday, spent, I would say, half of the day at the plant with TDEC, just discussing the improvements that are going on at the project for phase one, the status on that. And we have two priority projects that we're working on now in addition to the phase one. So one is the purchase of a new belt press, and probably it's going to end up being a screw press. It's a smaller apparatus that does the same thing as the belt press. The other is rehabbing or replacing, and probably it's going to be replacing the blowers that are over there. There's 4 smaller blowers and 2 larger blowers that are running constantly now. So in the past, they had only run the smaller blowers, and I think with the addition of the 2 larger ones and having everything going, that's what has increased the sound over there. So what we need to do and what our engineer is working on is specing one blower that has the capacity to, I guess, oxygenate the plant the way that it needs to be done. And then removing what we have, it's outdated, it needs to be replaced anyway. But if we spec a new blower and get the appropriate size, we'll be able to relocate it to where it can be enclosed and it'll be quieter.
Also, they hit rock over there too, and they got a track hole with a jackhammer on it. That's probably making a lot of noise when people's hearing.
Yeah, I would say it's a combination of all of that.
A lot of stone over there.
Yeah.
A lot of very big rock.
Yeah, and kind of think of that.
The second question that I had that somebody's brought to me was asking about paving. They were asking about paving on Dover Street. And so do we have any type of paving schedule, or does Jason have any type of master plan for not master plan, like a paving deal for long term, what we're looking at, trying to do major paving like that?
I did inquire about that with him today because we had talked about during this fiscal year's budget, you know, when he was identifying the streets, he did discuss paving Dover and Concord, I believe. But he let me know that Dover was paved in 2004, striped in 2006, and then striped again in 2015. He is shooting to pave it this year along with Concord since we didn't get that done this fiscal year.
So that's FY25?
Yes. Well, it will probably be like this summer.
This summer, so summer 24?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, did we decide to do Hammond Estates, half of it, and half of Independence every other year? Or
Hammond Estates or Hammond Avenue?
Hammond Avenue, Hammond Avenue, I thought we was going to.
I think we'll discuss that during the budget.
Look, I know you couldn't do all of them. We decided to do half one year and half the next year or something like that.
I'm sorry, I missed I'm sorry to interrupt you. I got Dover. What was the other street?
Concord.
Concord, thank you.
We did discuss that last year.
Well, Hammond Estates are,
Hammond
Hammond Avenue, they're getting to a point there, it's starting to break off a little bit, actually, the red bar. It's getting pretty bad there.
When am I supposed to that, because it's got grass going through the street?
I'll have to ask, because I don't know off the top of my head.
Where?
Holston, above Oak Grove. The street that goes beside Oak Grove. It's worse than Concord, actually.
I'll find out.
Postal Street, or Postal.
It's a street or an it's right beside Oak Grove.
Going up the road.
Yeah,
I mean,
goes kind of around that sharp curve, but Oak Grove's parking lot.
I take that back, I think it's Holston Drive.
Postal Drive. Okay, thank you.
I know it's Holston something.
Yeah.
It's over beside Oak Grove.
Something done anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is probably a better question for Jason, but when we do a repaving of a street like that, what's the approximate life of that? And it's okay if you don't, I mean, ask Jason as the answer, I can do that. I'm just curious
It also depends on who we use to pave it as well.
and the traffic, the road sees, I'm sure there's a lot of factors with it, but I know some of those major roads like Hammond, you have less lifetime.
Well, it's usually a special.
Or in the middle, stuff that takes Carter's Valley,
Right.
people that goes to Carter's Valley.
Yes,
Those
that's
are
much more
real,
traffic on
Visit.
easy. And the one that goes to college to Independence. Walnut, yeah, that is another one that's in pretty bad shape, because it takes a lot of these too.
I thought the city side though, isn't it? Like Kingsport side?
There's a real close split over there that I don't know exactly where the lines are at.
Our side's pretty good. It's in Kingsport side. It's not so great.
Yeah. It's awful.
Find out what it is, so we can tell people when they're complaining about it. Okay, that's not part of Kingsport, just like when they go all the way up Hammond Avenue, they think that when we go out of city, that's our responsibility up around, until it comes back into, over there where I live, and that's where I get the most complaints. Don't you do something about it? I said, well, no, not until we get some money. I mean, this is a big town. They don't realize that our city is as large as the Pigeon Forge area. And so we have a lot more mowing to go on that we have as more than we do as far as. And the guys did a wonderful job. I have had more compliments than we've ever had when this last snow that we had. They were out there night and day. They even took shifts staying over there, and then a few would go out at a time, and they'd take them out, and then they'd come back in, and then the others would go out. So they really did better than Honey Hawkins County. Like they never got theirs down.
Yeah, they need to be complimented because they did a great job.
Well, I got a card and I sent it. I put it in Jason's box. Anybody else have anything? Anybody else out here have anything? Yes, sir.
Can I just ask one question?
Yes.
The attorney made the accusations that.
I'm sorry. Can you stand up?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And state who you are?
I'm Scott Alley. I'm your former assistant chief. Live here in Mount Carmel. You made the accusations that most of our officers are leaving because of policy changes. Can you be more specific on what policies those are?
The overtime policy, the carrying over of the vacation policy, the reorganization of the department. I just know there's been a lot of policy changes, a lot of changes in the last year, and it seems to me that's my personal opinion, that's the reason for the changeover. I mean,
That's just your personal opinion, though.
for sure, that's all I can offer you.
Well, I can assure you I didn't leave because of that. It was definitely for other reasons. But, I mean, if that's just your opinion and not something that you actually know, I just wanted to make sure that everybody in here realized that's not something that's definite, because talking to the officers and myself, no, they're not leaving because of that. You know it and I know it. And some of these people know it.
The way the department's organized, the way it's operated, the way the overtime is calculated. There's just a lot of changes, and again.
Well, I mean, there was.
And then so,
You're correct.
human nature is generally that's we don't adapt to change very well in general. But yeah, that is my personal opinion. It's nothing other than that based upon what I've seen the board do over the last year with the changes.
Right.
And like you said, they're very well, they have other different reasons than individual, you entirely or somebody else. But that's my opinion of why we have that.
I just wanted to make sure of that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything at all to say? Now it's time to say it.
Just adjourn.
You ready to go? You ready for me to adjourn it?
Oh, look, I'd like to ask our fire chief, we have a little home fire extinguisher.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
long do those things last?
As long as, does it have the needle on it?
Mhm.
As long as it's in the green, then you're okay.
Okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad you brought that up.
And we got two, we got 2 floors, so I'm gonna get 2.
The house we bought looks like it's wired in,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody can explain it to us.
We can, yes, ma'am.
Okay,
We
just need
we
to-
check all the city bills and things like that.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then the drainage ditch at our entranceway, I cleaned it out as much as I can. Do I need to call Jason and see if he can clean that out? Because it's full.
The one at the bottom,
Yes, sir.
they just cleaned that out not too long ago. And I watched it.
Well, they need to
But-
clean it again.
It's going to come to rain this week, and I'll see if we can get.
Because we were just down there,
Or I'll
because
get her
we
to
cleaned
call,
that
and
entrance out.
that's sort of her job.
Everybody's a poultry.
Okay,
And I cut out some trees and stuff, but there's
I see.
water flow back. Yeah, that a girl. I'll hit you up for gas money next year.
We'll drink a beer on it.
Hey, that's all right. I'll be riding out in your talk toy years.
I did notice that they were out picking up the trash on the drop off the road out there.
Yes.
I'm sure it looks a lot nice, it's a real shame the amount of trash that was seen on them. There's a bag every.
Who is the guy that picks up the trash, that drives the truck?
He's wonderful. I
What
can
is his
tell you.
name?
I can't remember what his name is, but
He needs a.
he even gets out and puts stuff, and he has a rake that he rakes it up afterwards.
Oh, you talking about brush?
Kenworth.
That's Charles.
Charles?
Just call him Kenworth.
He does a great job. He's a,
That's what I call him, Kenworth.
he's,
He takes his job pride,
Yeah.
he has pride in his job. He does have a rake, and he rakes it up after he puts all the stuff.
Right.
Yeah, he knows that my little boy just loves the claw truck. So we will take just 2 or 3 little twigs, Jacob will take them out there, and he will stop and pick those up with that claw just so my little boy can watch it. I mean, he's
Is that
awesome.
your grandson?
No, that's my little boy, I adopted him.
Oh, you adopted one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's mine. But yeah, he just knows, because him and Jacob, they'll sit and they'll talk. Yeah, and he's awesome. He really is.
Well, I didn't know you had another one.
I just had the little one.
Yeah, well, I knew it was, but I thought that was your grandson.
No, he's mine.
Well, that's nice of you doing that.
He was my great baby.
Okay. All right, I'll dismiss you.
Thank you.